other pieces here. Then we'll run the roof over the top, and lo and behold, there we are with a Lincoln log cabin.
It's been one of the world's most popular children's toys for nearly 100 years, with over 100 million sets sold globally. We've all grown up with Lincoln Logs, the classic construction toy which encourages children's creativity and inspires their imagination.
You could theoretically build things of all sorts of different sizes.
Lincoln Logs are made up of notched miniature logs, which allow children of all sizes to build their own customized homes, forts, and buildings. In essence, the toy brings out the young architect in its users. That's fitting, because Lincoln Logs were created by the son of the man who was perhaps America's greatest architect, Frank Lloyd Wright. The story starts here, in the Oak Park, Illinois home built by Wright for his family in the late 19th century. In that home, Wright built this elaborate playroom for his 6 children. It's where he introduced them to these geometric building blocks developed by Friedrich Froebel, the German educator who came up with the concept of kindergarten. Wright's second son, John Lloyd, was fascinated by these blocks, and they influenced his future careers as an architect and as a toy maker.
It was in that room, using Froebel blocks, that John, the second of the 2 male children, essentially began to feel that spirit of being an architect. But it was always a tension between his father, who was an architect, and his love for building toys that he had begun to learn in that Froebel system of early childhood education.
As a young adult, John Lloyd Wright accompanied his father to Tokyo, where Frank Lloyd Wright was commissioned to build Japan's Imperial Hotel. John was fired by his father in a squabble over money, but his experience working on the Imperial Hotel project wasn't wasted. John noticed his father using interlocking timbers to help construct the hotel and make it earthquake-proof. With that inspiration, John Lloyd Wright came up with the idea of Lincoln Logs.
Mr. John Lloyd Wright suddenly had sort of an epiphany one day, and he said, I've got it. I know it's just come to me, the kind of toy that American kids would love to play with. And he said, I've seen it now looking at these vertical and horizontal great timbers being pounded into the ground, and I've also seen it with this bamboo framework. He said, I'm going to put together a building toy, and I know exactly what I want. The building toy I want is the great first toy that was a first building that was put up in America, the log cabin.
John Lloyd Wright produced the template for the toy in 1916, and 2 years later, he began to market his creation. On August 31, 1920, Wright received a patent for Lincoln Logs. He named the toy after America's 16th president, who famously was born in a Kentucky log cabin.
Lincoln's had values of basically simplicity, warmth, responsibility. And those are the kinds of things that I think John Lloyd Wright was trying to instill in children that would play with Lincoln Logs.
Lincoln Logs were an instant success, but John Lloyd Wright, who created his own toy company to market his product, would soon move on from his creation.
The first year they hit the market, around 1918, he simply sold out. And after that, he had a couple of other bumper years. But for a variety of reasons, I think ambivalence about whether he wanted to really be a toy designer his whole life or he wanted to become an architect, he sold out his ownership in the company for stock. The company became known after that still as the John Lloyd Wright or J.L. Wright Inc. company, but he no longer really had a hand in the toy designs that followed in Lincoln Log after 1923.
In 1943, the J.L. Wright Company sold the rights to Lincoln Logs to Play School for a mere $800, and the toy became more popular than ever, peaking in popularity in the 1950s thanks to TV advertisements for Lincoln Logs. John Lloyd Wright went on to create other toys, like his Wright Blocks, which came out in the 1950s, and he also became a noted architect, designing houses in Northwest Indiana and Southern California which are now on the National Register for Historic Places. But he could never top Lincoln Logs, which remain popular today. In fact, Wright's creation was inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame in 1999. One reason for their popularity is their flexibility. You can build city skylines with them, as this Denver man did in 2007. And these architecture students constructed a mock-up of the Nebraska State Capitol, a feat which made the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest ever Lincoln Log structure.
John said that he was enormously surprised at the kind of structures that could be built out of Lincoln Logs. They're sturdy, they don't break very easily, they don't break at all, really. And I think they're ultimately very creative.